Thank you so much for joining me today. I've really been looking forward to speaking with you, and I know we had some scheduling problems, like different times and different days. So I'm really glad we had this chance today to speak
Yeah,
to
me
you.
too. Me too. Very good.
And so you're over in New Zealand?
No, I'm from New Zealand. I'm actually in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're based
Yeah,
in Los Angeles.
yeah, yeah.
And when did you move across?
I moved across from London. I was in London for 2 years, and then I moved across to LA in 2009. So
Oh, right, okay.
I was
And
living in both places for a while.
okay, which one do you prefer?
I like both. I can't
Okay,
really say. I mean, I love the weather here. The weather's fantastic, but I like
yeah,
the busyness and I like the way that London has all these cultures all pulled together is really fun.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's where I am now, and that's one of the things that I
Yeah.
love about it as well.
Yeah, very cool. Did you grow up there?
Yes, I was born in West London,
Okay,
Acton to be specific.
sure.
So yeah, I've grown up here, and I moved to Manchester to study, and now I actually live outside, just outside of London, in Luton.
Oh, okay. We
Hmm.
lived in Sion Lane, which was near Isleworth and sort of
Oh,
southwest.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
Brent.
nice area.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm. And then, so with your website, I know about your website, and I really love it. It's one of my favorite blogs.
Oh,
Would you mind telling everyone else a bit more about it?
yeah, sure. It's our website's called sevensentences.com, and every day we write 7 sentences to our audience, which is really just designed to inspire them and equip them on a daily basis. And I think the people we really enjoy connecting with are
Hmm.
like people who take risks, whether they're in business, whether it's an artistic endeavor,
Hmm.
um, whether it's an idea they're developing, or whether they want to change the world through being a thought leader through their own words. So
Yeah.
we like the idea of touching people, touching base with people regularly,
Hmm.
um, in a very short, easy format. So they know they're only getting 7 sentences, to read every day. So it's easy. It's easy to do. It's not going to steal a lot of your time because
Hmm.
people that we really love are really busy people. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's definitely what caught my attention when it was the 7 sentences, and the fact that you stick to doing that. I was like, wow, I was really impressed. I was thinking, how do they manage to do that consistently?
It's a lot of practice, I think. I've got it down normally. If I'm writing really quickly, I can do them pretty smartly. So it actually
Okay.
helps us. Those creative like boundaries really
Yeah.
help you to be able to perform the task. Be
Hmm.
fun.
Okay. And then I know that one of your recent blogs was about going after your dreams, and you mentioned dreams quite a lot, which I love. What inspires you?
What inspires me? What inspires me in particular is like living a full life, and
Yeah.
I think I've had to ask myself that question a lot because we've created a program for people to help them find their dreams and then really take
Okay.
some steps towards it. So whenever you do something with somebody else, you have to really ask yourself some serious questions like, am I doing this? Am
Hmm.
I following my dreams? And I think the big thing for me when I ask what's my real like dream is I hate things that um, I love freedom and I hate things that keep people bound up or that separate people, whether it's like in relationships or from their passions. So
Hmm.
I really would like to get rid of all that, and I'd really like to see people really connected to doing what they love and to each other. So
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
yeah.
So, how did you get into small business and entrepreneurship? Like, what's your background?
Oh, my background's really strange. I was a veterinary surgeon for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I, I was doing a lot of the time I was acting as a vet, either in New Zealand or London, working as a vet, not
Hmm.
acting. Um, I was working as a vet. That's funny. I I would I was doing artistic things at the same time and exploring the creative side of my brain and
Hmm.
the business side of my brain. And eventually, it became clear that that was what I really loved. Like I liked being a veterinary surgeon, but I really loved um, being creative and thinking about things and trying to solve problems
Mhm.
and trying to create new ways of doing things. So just like a gradual like progression over time. And um, I think we've come to understand that like small business people are just so brave,
Mhm.
and we're like in many ways we're small business people too, so we understand what they're going through, and we understand the value of having an outside perspective,
Yeah.
because you just can't quite. I mean, we're in marketing and in branding and in digital strategies, and it's really hard to do it for ourselves even because you just know your own business so well
Yeah.
that it's hard to get an outside perspective on it, because
Mhm.
often we miss the really good things about what we're doing. We don't even know how to communicate them because they
Mhm.
just are. And so I think we enjoy coming alongside small business owners or entrepreneurs and saying, well, this is really remarkable about you.
Okay.
You don't even see it because it's just so much a part of you. But this is the hook that will help you grow your business or get what you need in the next step on your journey, whether it's investment um, or customers or clients, or it's like, what do you need next?
Okay.
And you're missing this like hugely powerful message that is just part of you that you can't see the value in it.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and that sounds awesome. But so when you find that hook or that missing way of communicating, what do you do next with your clients?
Well, that's a process, and it depends on the client. Firstly, of finding
Mm.
the the unique the unique thing about them and their business. Um,
Okay.
and sometimes that can be really quick, and sometimes it can take a long time. It really depends on the client and the creative process.
Okay.
It's really unusual. Like sometimes you can get it straight away, and other times, depending on the relationship that you're forming, you have to
Mhm.
do a bit more work. So once we have that, it depends what they want. If they're wanting more help with their business and the packaging of their business and their branding, well, then we would work there. But often for us, we'll work more on the online side of things. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, this is your unique message to the world, your unique story. How can we craft this through your blog
Yeah.
or your words? Um, because there's so many blogs out there that are not read by anybody. Like the majority of blogs have very low readership, and everybody's telling small business owners you need to have a blog,
Yeah, right.
and whilst that's true, that's not really the point. Is you need to be building relationships with your audience online, with your clients online, and unless you can really find something unique, find that unique thing about you and
Mhm.
communicate it really well, which takes practice
Mhm.
and some training and coaching sometimes, you're not really going to form those relationships online. Yes, you're ticking the box. I have a
Mhm.
blog, doing all the things you're meant to do as an entrepreneur and a business owner. But
Mhm.
that's not the point. The point's to build relationships. So we're always very clear, like, what's your unique voice? What's unique about you?
Mhm.
And when we find that, not only will it permeate through the blog, but it will permeate through the rest of the business.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's about going deeper rather than going wider
Okay.
with the people that we work with, because it's just for us we have a lot of techniques and strategies, but a lot of other people have those. But unless you can find the unique point,
Mhm.
you're going to have a client or a small business owner spending a lot of time and getting really frustrated that no one's reading my blog.
Yeah.
I'm spending all this time, I spend all this money on my website, I'm not making any sales, I've got no traffic. It's like, well, why would someone come to your website? Are you being authentic? Like, does the
Okay.
experience they have when they come to your blog or your website, does that replicate what happens when they come into your store? Like, does it feel
Mhm.
friendly? Does it welcome you? You know, is
Okay.
it the same? Yeah.
Right. That's interesting. And I know that about 100% of your work and your clients actually come through your blog, which is an amazing testimonial to your work.
Yeah.
How do you convert them, or how do you convert people into sales, into prospects?
But we try and create what we call marketing funnels, where we obviously you have to build trust. And for us, business is about trust and relationships. So
Mhm.
the first point of building trust in relationship is our content or our voice. And
Mhm.
so that's totally free for everyone. So that's our blog. And we're still developing our product lines
Okay.
little as we go. It's an ongoing process. But then, for example, we've given away like a free ebook on how to create your own business marketing plan. So that's the next line. It's, we gave away 50 of those before Christmas in
Mhm.
24 hours to our blog readers. And then some people come back with questions, and then we'll say, well, hey, do you want to sit down and talk about it? And we generally like to talk first
Mhm.
if we're going to do any large body of work with people. Um, because we want to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. So the talking is always free, and then we try and shape a program
Mhm.
to fit the person. But it always comes through people feeling that we know them through our blog, or we understand them,
Mhm.
or we could help them. So there's a lot of trust being built there, and then we'll write a post and we might say, hey, do you want to talk about this program, or do you want a free ebook? We'll
Mhm.
give them something, and then um, that gives us further permission. So we're just looking at like steps to deepen the relationship.
Okay.
Uh, and there are many ways you can do that through your blog.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes, in the past I've said like, ask me a question, ask me any question. And so about marketing or branding. And so we'll just start dialoguing with people via email.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's it's slow but steady when it
Okay.
comes to building relationships. Not always, but with a blog.
Mm.
But it's imperative.
Okay. So that's part of the key, I guess, taking it slow and not rushing the client or rushing the process.
Yeah, it's like if you were looking for a life partner,
Mhm.
um, your best chance of probably finding the right person is not to rush. And typically, like we get our anxiety or our greed gets in the way, and we rush things. And
Mhm.
so it's the same with business. If we go slow and get to know people, we'll get to see, this is the right person for us, and this is going to be mutually beneficial for
Okay.
both parties. And that's, I think, the importance of going slow. I mean, it depends on the relationship again, like, because some people you can move really fast with. They're really quick decision makers, and you can decide,
Mhm.
you like each other really, really quickly. I mean, my
Yeah.
wife and we met and got married in 5 months, so we moved really quick.
Okay. That's
Um,
nice.
yeah, it's nice, but we knew, and we spent a lot of time together, and we worked things out really quickly. So
Mhm. Okay.
it can happen in business like that too. It can be. I mean, obviously, we're not talking months, but
Mhm. I understand. And
yeah.
congratulations. How long have you been married?
Oh, we've been married 3 years. So.
Ah, that's same. Me and my husband were coming up to our 3 month anniversary.
Oh,
So,
very cool.
yeah, lovely. And
Yeah,
we met and we decided we didn't get married, but we decided to commit to each other, and we knew we would get married quite quickly. So within the first 3 months as well.
yeah.
So I can see what
When
you mean.
when you know, right? So
Yeah.
it's the same with the business relationship, and we're just, the blog is just a way of inviting relationship with the
Mhm.
right kind of people. And I guess part of that uniqueness for us, part of the process of finding out what's unique about your voice and who you are and about your business
Mhm.
is really about deciding who you're not as much
Mm.
as it is deciding who you are. And so we
Right.
work very, very intently with clients saying, who are you not? Who are you not trying to appeal to? What
Ah,
is your
okay.
voice not? Like, and
Mhm.
again, we often have to fight and we want to appeal to everybody.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And that's really, it's really a dangerous place to be,
Mhm.
or at least to aim for from the start, especially if you're starting a business. We work with people and they've been told by all sorts of business coaches, like, you need to go broad, you need to go big. And it's like, start, you can have that overall vision, but you need to start like focused on one area or one industry, even in some cases. And then
Mhm.
once you've got that one down, you can move on to another one,
Right.
because your brand is really the story other people are telling about you. So
Mhm.
for us, if I use crazy examples, like if you were a chiropractor that specialized in working with accountants,
Mhm.
Like it would be really easy for like other accountants to share. Oh, you got to see my chiropractor. They're like they work with people who are in offices all day, like accountants. Like they're
Oh, okay, yeah.
the more you feel like that your problem is specific and someone's created a specific solution for it,
Mhm.
the stronger your brand will be because people will feel like they have you have the answers just for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really important
Mm.
to.
Definitely. I think that's another key point, and I think with big business, I think that in the future, that's what they're going to be challenged by, and small business owners will actually have that advantage,
Sure.
based on exactly what you just mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
so one of my next questions was, because I know for myself when I started a couple of years ago, actually finding my voice and saying, okay, I really want to work with these customers, that was so scary at first, and
Hmm.
kind of like cutting off other people and going after a
Hmm.
specific group of people was so scary. So
Sure.
what tips do you have for that?
I tell people if they're it's almost like a rebranding process,
Mhm.
what you're describing, and I think obviously we have like cash flow concerns sometimes that we need to be very aware of,
Mhm.
um, and so for us, it's like we've recently rebranded the way we work with people because we think it'll be more effective and more profitable for us.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing more of the work we love and less of, say, some of the little jobs we were doing.
Mhm.
But we also value loyalty. So for us, it's like those people that we've worked with last year or the year before, we will work with them at the same rate for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Like, because we value loyalty, but also like that work tides us over through that transitional period.
Mhm.
So I think there's a room, there's a place for definitely being smart, but you can't be chicken-hearted either and stay there
Yeah.
because we know that those customers are not going to keep working with us for the rest of their lives, most likely. Although in some cases it would be fantastic if they did.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it depends on the organization and the business, but um, you need to have a plan as to how you're going to transition your brand over.
Okay.
And actually, transitional periods can be really great for your marketing.
Mhm.
So, because it gives you a permission to contact people.
Mhm.
So, if you are completely changing the way your blog works or looks, or you're putting a new website up, well, then you have permission to share good news with people. So, it's a great time to introduce a new product or a new service or offer something for free to get them into your marketing funnel.
Ah, okay.
So people often we're often scared of the things that will benefit us most,
Hmm.
almost always, and that's one of them. Change is a really good time to create interest, to get new clients.
Okay.
You just have to have a good strategy for.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, I love working with creative people as well, and online businesses and innovative tech companies.
Hmm.
What's your favorite industries or type of businesses to work with?
We've gone back over that quite a lot recently, and I think we definitely have some sweet spots which we really enjoy,
Mhm.
but more than industry specific for us, it's about the person and the people involved, and there are some sort of key criteria that we look for.
Okay.
One is that we want them to be people who change things. So like people who aren't interested in the status quo is really important. So they want to change the world in one way or another.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess the second thing is probably people who are really passionate about what they're doing.
Mhm.
Like they almost have to do it because they can't do it otherwise. Because those two things translate really well online for digital strategies. They're very nothing connects really like passion. Actually, doesn't have to be online. It's offline as well.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to sell.
Okay.
So those things really work for us, and we just we've put the people we want to work with sort of full time in the next 12 months,
Mhm.
like into that's the sort of primary filter, and then we're saying like we want to work with one CEO, one thought leader, one small business owner,
Mhm.
one nonprofit owner, one author, one woman one woman business leader,
Okay.
um, and one something or other. Let me see, one entrepreneur.
Okay.
So we have like, because we base a lot of our business around the number seven, so we have essentially seven people that we want to partner with very intently for 12 months.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And that would be our long term clients. So rather than just being open to everything, we're really determined to work with people intently, work with the right people intently.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's a good selling point too, to say, you know what, like, we just want to work just with you. Like, we're not going to be, we're not going to be working with your competitors. We're not going to be too busy working with other people. We want to focus our attentions with our one-on-one time
Mhm.
with you.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
brilliant. And
yeah.
when it comes to marketing, what is your favorite, or currently, what's your favorite marketing techniques?
I think we always look at relational marketing.
Mhm.
So um, I think my favorite technique is to use your blog as a research tool.
Mhm. Okay.
And I've had a lot of success with that. So much, much like maybe what you're doing with these interviews, it's a great way to form
Mhm.
relationships. Um, we think that if you can make content interactive, then people are gonna be involved. The internet works best when the content that you create is not about yourself. It's
Mhm.
Unless you're a celebrity, no one's really interested in you.
Yeah.
Um, and even if you are a celebrity, you could argue that they're not really interested in you. They're interested in the idea of you. But so the more you can make the content that you're writing about your audience or about your readers, the better. And one way to do that is to use your blog as a research tool. And what I mean by that is um, you can contact the people that you'd like to work with via email or via LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and you can ask them a question. And the people like to have their opinion asked for, and you can say, "Look, I'm doing research for my blog. Um, I want to ask you a simple question, yes or no." And I just did this recently on LinkedIn. Yes or no? Do you think social media can directly improve the bottom line of your business?
Mhm.
And in that case, when I did that, I think I've had like 200 CEOs reply to that question.
Ah, okay. That's
And
amazing.
then I'll ask them, like, do you mind if I share, send you the link to the article when it goes live?
Mhm.
And then I'll write an article, and I might quote a couple of them if I have permission,
Mhm.
and um, invite them to read it. So I'm inviting them into our brand with something that they've been interested enough to give me an answer to.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and in this case, because I have a 7 sentence blog, I'll probably guest blog that post somewhere else. So
Oh, right.
maybe, try for a high traffic business site,
Okay.
since I've been putting a lot of work into the article and write something in
Hmm.
depth. So just that idea of like your blog being a hub of pulling voices into it and sharing content is really useful.
Mhm. That's an amazingly thoughtful strategy, and it's quite nice because it's giving back as well.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're coming up near to the end of our time together, and I'm really enjoying talking to you. So I'm just going to ask a few more quick questions before you go.
Sure.
So one of them would be, how do you actually manage your time when it comes to doing blog posts and running your business, working with clients? Is there any tools that you use?
Very badly often, but I'm getting better.
Okay.
Definitely, one of the key techniques that we teach and that I use blogging
Yeah.
often is I'll batch write blogs. So I'll write seven of them. I'll sit down on a Saturday morning and write seven of them in a row and schedule them during the week, because when we group our tasks together like that, you can save a lot of time.
Mm.
I'd almost say that I save, if I do that on a Saturday and write seven blog posts in a row, I would save 7 or 8 hours during the week.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, probably five, because you just get into a rhythm. And I think I personally write better when I do that,
Mm.
when I set aside time for it. So doing that and scheduling the posts is a great way for any small business owner to handle their marketing, because they're so busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always recommend um, setting aside half a day to do your marketing online and getting it all scheduled and automated where you can, and then just adding the personal touches to it throughout the week when you have time.
Okay. Yep,
Yeah, it's really important.
definitely. And
Yeah.
do you believe in outsourcing? Is there anything that you outsource?
I would at some point outsource, but I would, I have done in the past,
Or
but
yeah.
I don't really believe in outsourcing writing or
Mm-hmm.
creating of content. And my main reason for that is we're trying to encourage our clients um, to build relationship with their clients online,
Yeah.
and it has to be to your voice. And it's very hard for an outsourced writer to capture the voice of the business owner
Mm-hmm.
and the passion of the business owner. And it can be a little dangerous too, because if you have someone writing for you, and then, I mean, if they're a part of your company, that's a different story. But if they're just outsourced, a client will come in and probably think, "Oh, I love that post you wrote and want a conversation about it."
Yeah.
And you don't even probably have a clue what exactly it was about, or you're having to fudge it.
Yeah.
Hey, great article that you wrote. So, um, I tend to be like, there are jobs around marketing the content that you could outsource, but never outsource the creation of the content. Or
Okay.
never certainly remove it from being 100% your responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And
Yeah.
so the very last question before you go, you mentioned freedom before, and just having the freedom. Business owners want to have their own freedom, and I recently wrote a blog post, an article about that. So I'm really curious to know, in your words, what is freedom to you nowadays?
Freedom to me is being able to do and be exactly who you are, um, without being trapped in the confines of somebody else's dream, which is often, you know, the way when you're an employee. So
Okay.
we want to encourage people to create their own lives and their own dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and be free to do what they want,
Yeah,
and what they need to do.
definitely. I like that. That's a good answer. Might have to borrow
Yeah.
that from you.
You're welcome to it. It's not mine. It just came from somewhere else.
I'm kidding. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much again for joining me today.
Yeah, you too. Brilliant. Thank you so
Okay.
much. It was fun.
Thank